The war had ended, but the silence that followed was far more terrifying. I was one of the last Terran engineers stationed on Nerix 4, a planet that had been bombed into a mosaic of glass and ash. The skies were burnt orange, the ground hummed faintly from residual energy discharges, and every breath tasted like metal. My unit had been ordered to retrieve surviving tech from the battlefield before the Union forces returned to salvage their own. I was combing through the wreckage of what used to be a Zenith-class combat walker, sleek, humanoid, and built for war, when I found her. At first, I thought it was just another corpse locked inside a shell of alloy. But then her armor shifted. It wasn't random movement. It was deliberate, controlled. The sound made my heart stop, a faint click of servos realigning, followed by a low hum. The visor lit up in a pale, electric blue. "Stay back," I warned, raising my plasma cutter instinctively. The voice that came from the armor was low, feminine, and strangely calm. "You are Terran." "Yeah," I said cautiously. "Engineering division." "Union." Long pause. "I was Union." The armor hissed open slightly, revealing the face beneath, human but augmented. Synthetic veins shimmered faintly under her pale skin. Her eyes, though, were unmistakably human, gray, tired, and wary. She looked like she hadn't slept in years. "Your unit's dead," I said quietly. "I know," she replied. "I felt them die." Something in her tone made me hesitate. These soldiers, the echelon wardens, were part machine, part living weapon. They fought as one through neural link networks. When one died, the others felt the psychic echo. To lose an entire platoon must have felt like watching your own mind shatter piece by piece. "What's your name?" "Yes." She hesitated. "Designation E97. Name?" "Lyra." The name lingered in the air. Lyra. It didn't fit a war machine. It fit someone who might have sung before the war began. We spent the night inside the shattered remains of a cargo shelter. I patched her armor's power conduit while she sat silently, watching me with that unreadable expression. When I reached around her side panel to reconnect a damaged fiber line, my gloved hand brushed the edge of her chest plate. A casual touch, accidental. She froze, completely still. Her eyes widened, and for a second, the light inside her visor flickered erratically. "Did I?" I started, but she cut me off in a whisper that sent a chill down my spine. "You just claimed me." And blinked. "What?" Her breathing quickened. Not mechanical but real. "Echelon armor is symbiotic," she said quietly. "It bonds to touch. It identifies an imprint, a source of command. In war, it meant allegiance. If a non-Union soldier made contact with an active Warden unit, the system would register it as a transfer of authority." I stared at her, realizing what she meant. "You mean, you belong to me now?" She looked away. "Not belong. Bound. The armor won't recognize any other input. You could order me to self-destruct, and I would have to obey." I stepped back immediately. "I didn't mean to." "It doesn't matter what you meant," she said softly. "The link is sealed." There was silence again, broken only by the low hum of her armor's core. I didn't want a weapon, and she didn't want a master. But war doesn't ask for consent, and neither did the technology we built to fight it. Days passed. We scavenged together, me for spare parts, her for reasons to keep going. The bond between us, though forced, became something else. Her armor had integrated with my biosignature. I could feel faint pulses of her heartbeat through the neural feedback channel, even when I wasn't touching her. Sometimes in the stillness of the night, she'd whisper things half in her sleep. Memories, regrets. "I used to play the cello," she murmured once, staring at the horizon. You, chuckled. Can't picture it. She gave a faint smile. That's the point. The union erased most of who I was. But the armor, it remembers. She looked down at her gloved hand, flexing the mechanical fingers. It stores the last tactile imprint before deployment. Mine was my father's handshake. Now it's you. The admission hit me harder than I expected. I'd been living on survival mode for so long that I'd forgotten what human connection even felt like, even one born of accident. One night we heard the drones. Union recon units. Spider-like scouts sweeping the dead zones for stragglers. Their scanners could pierce through alloy bunkers like tissue. Lyra turned to me, her visor flashing with tactical overlays. They'll kill you on sight, she said. What about you? I'm considered rogue now. They'll dismantle me, harvest my core for data. She stood and looked at me for a long moment, then said quietly, You could release me. How? Deactivate the imprint. End the link. Her armor panels began to open slightly, revealing the glowing neural conduit beneath her collarbone. Just touch here, she whispered. Say my name and revoke the claim. But I couldn't move. Because even though this connection had started as an accident, the thought of breaking it felt like tearing something vital out of me. I can't, I said finally. Her expression softened. Then we run. We fled through the ruins as the drones closed in. Beams of red light sliced through the dust, and plasma bolts scorched the air around us. Lyra moved like liquid metal, her armor adapting, shielding, fighting, every motion synchronized with my heartbeat. Through the neural link, I could feel her exhaustion, her pain, her determination. When one of the drones cornered us near a collapsed highway, she turned to me and said, Close your eyes. Lyra, do it. The air exploded with blue light. When I opened my eyes again, the drone was gone, reduced to molten slag, but Lyra was on her knees, armor smoking, core flickering weakly. I ran to her, catching her before she fell. Hey, stay with me. Her voice was barely a whisper. My energy cell's done. I overloaded it. Then I'll fix it, I said, desperate. I can rewire the... She shook her head faintly. No time. But listen. Her hand brushed mine. The armor will protect you now. You claimed me. So it's your turn to survive. And then, before I could stop her, she transferred the armor's core to my biosignature. A blinding surge of light wrapped around me, and when it faded, she was gone. All that remained was the armor, reshaped to fit my form. Her neural imprint humming faintly inside. It's been 6 months since that day. The war is truly over now, but sometimes when I walk through the silent outposts of Nerex, I still hear her voice in the hum of the armor. She whispers when I sleep. She guides me when I forget. And every time the armor hums to life, I remember the moment it all began. The accidental touch, the whisper that changed everything. You just claimed me.